It's that time of year again where Tom Cruise pretends to be a normal human being whilst trying to promote one of his new films. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, not Dead Reckoning Part 2, thanks to basically no one's seen the film. IMDb's summary blurb is literally just saying, our lives are the sum of our choices, Tom Cruise is Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. So yeah, that's much help. It's the 8th one of these, and more than any other, acts as a fairly direct sequel to its previous entry, Dead Reckoning. Although, in saying that, this film did not trust anyone to have watched that film, or remember what happened in it at least, because a fat chunk of this first hour of the film is flashbacks and reminders of what happened in that last one. In fact, there's a lot of flashbacks and montages to other films as well. Basically, the first hour is just this road trip down memory lane. And with all that in mind, it made the first half of the movie pretty poorly paced. Scenes were weirdly cut in ways which felt jarring from going from one location to another, and you're kind of whiplashed into what becomes the biggest problem of the film, and that's what the fuck is going on with the villain. There's a crucial event that happens in the first half hour or so, but it's diluted entirely by how quickly it seems to happen out of nowhere, and you're left trying to really figure out why any of this is actually happening. The villain itself is AI, or the entity in this case. It's not really tangible though, apart from this one time where you hear the voice of it and it's just kind of weird, but it's just hard to rally against it. In any given scene, the characters are going, oh, let's just do what it expects us not to do because it knows what we'll do, but we'll just do the other thing that it expects us to do because it's expecting us not to do that, and it's just twist after twist in that sort of dialogue. It's all just a bit uninteresting, and if it's as omnipotent as it's been made out to be, then the team never really should have been able to fight back against this in the first place. The only sort of tangible villain there is Gabriel, who's just kind of a spare part in this and not really that interesting. Moving away from what's unfortunately a lackluster story, it is a Mission Impossible film, and that thankfully means that there's some exceptional action moments still. In particular, 3 of them. One we've seen in all the trailers with the planes, absolutely incredible, and I can't even begin to think how difficult that was to film. It's so good it thankfully helps the movie to end on a high. The second is a lengthy submarine scene, which is also incredibly intense. You're just locked in throughout the whole scene. Just don't think too much about how the mechanics of how he resurfaces work. And finally, there's this well-edited fight sequence which switches between Tom Cruise and then the rest of his squad. It's so well edited and choreographed, it makes me wonder how they fumbled the editing of the opening so much. The camera work is also still great, and similar to Dead Reckoning, it pays a lot of homage to the first Mission Impossible, which means Dutch angles everywhere. I mean, seriously, there might have been just maybe too much of it. What is this, set in Holland? And despite the story, our cast are still giving it their all. Tom Cruise is, as always, doing his best, and I do see the argument of how he's probably getting a bit too old for these now, but he still doesn't let up. He's committed to nearly killing himself in every one of these. There's a lot of other faces here, and they're all doing some good stuff, but the standouts for me were Hayley Atwell and Klementieff having some strong moments, and Simon Pegg, who's probably doing one of my favourite bits in the movie towards the final act, where he's multitasking in 2 separate languages. And I thought that really just flexed how great he is as an agent. I actually wish that we had more Simon Pegg in this. I'd say that this Mission Impossible probably had the least amount of humour in it. And as I said, Esai Morales' character is just annoying in this. They also kept trying to do this weird lighting trick with him where his face is in the shadows but there's a slit of light that covers his eyes to make him more evil, I guess. But it never matched the lighting of the rest of the room, so it just looked weird. I don't know, certainly a choice. I feel like I've gone hard on this. It still is a decent film with some great action bits. Despite the overuse of flashbacks, there are actually some great callbacks to other Mission Impossible films, kind of making older scenes retroactively more important to the overall saga. And performances were really tight. You just had to shave off at least like 30 minutes of this 2-hour 50 film, and a rework on the opening hour and less of this over-dramatization of how godlike the AI is would probably have helped towards that goal. I think if you like the other ones, this is still worth me recommending for you to see in the cinemas. The action bits are the most important parts anyways, and as normal, it's at its peak. So yeah, that's Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Have you already seen it? It's been out for a week or so now. If you have, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you found this review helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews on movies, anime, and video games. Until next time guys, take care. Bye bye.